Right from childhood, the kind of work that civil servants do. At week, I have thought of this that whether I made the right decision or not. No amount of work or no kind of work can be compared with each other. This is what I feel personally. I meet my friends, it will give me a refresher and I can come back stronger into these studies. You should know how you want to use it in your preparation.
In today's episode, we have someone who has walked away from a stable corporate job after doing his bachelor's and master's from IIT Delhi to pursue his dreams, which millions aspire, which is to crack the UPSC Civil Services exam. So we have Adesh here, who has cracked the UPSC exam and has been appointed as Indian Railway Management Services Officer. So welcome Adesh to our podcast. Thank you for joining today.
Hello, Adesh. Welcome to our podcast.
Hello, thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me to this podcast.
Yeah. So just to start with, my first question is on that, not only like when you were already having a stable corporate job, everything was settled. What made you decide to leave your job and pursue your dream? Like, what was that turning point that you had in your lives?
Okay, so while I was working in the private sector, I had worked there for 3 years, and at that time, COVID was going on. It was the year of 2021. So we all were working from home, and I got some time to think about what I really want to do in the longer run. And since my college was in Delhi, so I had many friends of mine who were already preparing for this exam or who had already cleared the exam. So I was in regular touch with them. So I had a fairly good idea about what this exam is, what kind of services that you get to do after clearing this exam. So based on these factors, and along with that, I was 25 years old at that time, and I felt that sometimes this exam may end up taking 2 or 3 or 4 attempts. So I thought that was probably the right time to start preparing for this exam. And also, right from childhood, the kind of work that civil servants do, it inspired me a lot. It fascinated me. So I thought maybe sometimes you have to take that risk and work there yourself to see what you really want to do. So based on all these things, I started preparing for civil services.
So when you left your job, like आपने अपने parents को और family को बताया क्या कि I will be leaving my job and start preparing for UPSC. And were they supportive of your decision? Like, what was their reaction in that time period?
So actually, I didn't tell my family that I had left my job because when I left my job, I traveled to my home, and it was the month of August 2021. So I had no job, and because there were so many things going on in my mind with that, whether I want to, do something of my own like a startup or do pursue civil services exam or something else. So I came home. I didn't tell them anything. They felt that I am still working from home because that was the advantage of COVID. You just have to sit in front of a laptop. And then I went to Delhi at that time. So my roommate from college, he was also preparing at that time, and I talked to him. I stayed with him for a couple of days. I understood everything, and then I came back, and then I decided. So I took like a 15-20 days time that whether I really want to do this or not. And secondly, once I told my family, like after a month, that I had left my job, so obviously they were in a little bit of shock because people usually take another job before leaving one job. But when I told them that I will prepare for civil services, then they were supportive because they always used to tell me right from my college days. Like in India, people say कि एक बार exam देके देख लो क्या पता निकल जाए. So they were happy that okay, I'm finally thinking of doing this thing. So they were supportive of this decision.
Nice. So once you left your job, it was in which year you left your job? 20,
I left my job at the end of July 2021.
2021. Okay. So from then, like आपने पढ़ाई स्टार्ट कर दी अपनी प्रिपरेशन वगैरह यूपीएससी के लिए. सो पूरी वो आपकी जो जर्नी रही जब आप प्रिपेयर करते थे, तो उस जर्नी के दौरान आपके कोई ऐसा कभी टाइम आता था कि वाई डिड आई लेफ्ट माई जॉब, और वो सेल्फ डाउट आना कि इट वाज बेटर अगर मैं जॉब ही कर लेता, यूपीएससी एग्जाम की तैयारी क्यों कर रहा हूँ? ऐसे कोई मोमेंट्स रहे हैं आपकी जर्नी में अभी तक?
I think more than 80-90% of the duration यही सोचा है कि क्यों छोड़ दी वो वाली जॉब, क्योंकि when I was giving my first attempt, so I seriously started preparing from the month of October 2021. So, and the exam takes place, the prelims exam, the first stage of the exam, it takes place usually in the month of May or June. So I only had the 7-8 months at that time to prepare. So in the first attempt, I really had no time to think about anything else. And I came with that intention that, okay, I don't want to stay here for 4, 5 or 6 attempts. I want to like wrap it up as soon as I can. So in the first attempt, I never felt that I made the wrong decision. But yes, after my first prelims, when I didn't clear the prelims exam, then during my second and third attempt, until I was selected, I was selected in October 2024. My selection came in that time. So that phase of approximately 2.5 years, almost every day or almost every week, I have thought of this, that whether I made the right decision or not. And in fact, I was in touch with many of my colleagues who were with me in my first job, and many of my friends from college also. And I used to always entertain this possibility that if in the worst case I am not able to clear this, I can go back to the private sector, and there are really good opportunities in private sector as well. So this thought was always there. Once I got selected, then then this thought disappeared a little bit over time.
सो जनरली लाइक हम लोगों ने देखा है कि हमारे जैसे यूथ जो विच आर इन देयर 20s, सो दे रोमांटिसाइज दिस कि यार यूपीएससी की प्रिपरेशन करनी है एंड इट्स अ वेरी बिग डील फॉर देम. And lot of people does that in after college, like they start preparing for UPSC and they end up giving like 5-6 attempts and it is never guaranteed कि उनका UPSC में हुआ है या नहीं हुआ. So in that scenario, like we see that they are not contributing to economics for our country as well, and at the same time they are also not sure ki what they will do if UPSC does not happen to them. So what is your take on it? Like what would you like to tell them? Ki is UPSC really worth doing, or we can also live with other jobs or other business or startup which people are pursuing right now?
See, I think at the end of the day, everyone has to do some kind of work. That work can be in private sector, it can be in public sector. People do their own businesses, so everyone has to work. Okay, and no amount of work or no kind of work can be compared with each other. This is what I feel personally. Now, when it comes to romanticizing UPSC, so yes, I feel like in India, like there has been lot of hype about this exam, and this has been going on since the days like before India got independence, because only very few people used to get into the Indian civil services before independence. So this is a baggage that has been going on for a very long time, and no doubt the civil services, it's a really good prestigious job, and you get to do a lot of things. But at the same time, what I feel is in civil services, in UPSC civil services, you get to give 6 attempts. And 6 attempts, if anyone actually gives 6 attempts, so that means like a duration of 6 to 7 years of their 20s. So what I feel personally is that if you are I think one should plan like how many attempts he or she wants to give, and not come with the mindset that I want to give 5 or 6 attempts. No doubt people get rank 1 or under rank 10 in their 5th or 6th attempt as well, and hats off to their perseverance. But what I feel is that if you are getting a good opportunity somewhere else, maybe in private sector, then there is no harm in doing that at all. There is no point of unnecessarily investing so many years into this examination if you are not seeing like a consistent progress across time. This, what I'm saying, is very debatable. This is like my opinion. Like, in fact, if I take my example, when I started preparing, I came with a very clear intention that I will only give 2 attempts, and that was my intention till my second attempt was finished. But by the end of second attempt, I got to know that okay, I will be allotted this Indian Railway Management Service, and then that thought started coming that okay, if I can, if it is possible for me to give one more attempt, then maybe I should give it, and maybe I can improve upon my service. Then by the end of third attempt, that thought came, ki, okay, since I didn't make in, was not able to improve my service in the third attempt, let's give another attempt. So this is a very vicious cycle. And as you know, the exam process goes on for an entire year.
Yeah.
Just to make you understand, like the prelims, the first stage, it happens in the month of May. Then mains examination, it happens in the month of September, August, September. Then the interviews take place in the month of January to April of next year. And the final result comes in the month of April. And then in the month of May, you have another prelims coming up. So when the final result is coming in the month of April, so if there is someone who has waited till April, and if he or she is not able to make it in the month of April when final results come, there is a very high chance that they will end up giving the exam, the prelims exam, which will take place in the month of May. And then again, they will be stuck in the loop for one entire year. So this is something that needs to be kept in mind, because when you start preparing for this exam, you don't know that, okay, how this cycle actually works. But when you get into it 1 or 2 years down the line, you realize that, okay, it is very difficult to get out of this cycle.
लाइक मैंने मेरे फ्रेंड्स को भी देखा है कि कुछ लोगों ने प्रीलिम्स दिया है, कुछ लोगों ने प्रीलिम्स और मेंस दिया है, बट इंटरव्यू में उनका नहीं हुआ। एंड दे कीप ऑन लाइक प्रिपेयरिंग कि यार इस साल नहीं हुआ, चलो एक बार और करके देख लेते हैं। सो दिस साइकिल इज़ वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू ब्रेक। एंड इन योर केस लाइक यू मेंशन्ड कि यू हैव ऑलरेडी डिसाइडेड कि यू विल गिव 2 अटेम्प्ट्स। And I am sure like in those 2 years when you prepared, like you were mentally exhausted, or maybe there were some points when you were feeling very low. So what kept you like grounded in those 2 years of preparation?
So just two things I want to mention. First thing is, like, I decided to give 2 attempts, but I also ended up giving 4 attempts.
Yeah.
So this is what something that, because you don't know the future, and you don't know on what basis you will take your future decisions. So this is something that happens with many of the aspirants. Second, like, what kept me grounded, I feel that after my first attempt, because in my first attempt I was highly energetic, so I was able to do most of the things by my own. But in my second attempt, I felt that maybe giving like 100% of my time of the day to this examination is not right, because your mind needs breathing space as well. So I started doing some things, like I had uninstalled WhatsApp or Instagram, all those things that like other most of the other aspirants also do. But I reinstalled WhatsApp during my second attempt, because I felt like d- being connected to friends is very important. And every weekend I used to talk to some of my good friends, like for 1 or 2 hours. And even every day, if I was feeling stressed out, I used to call my friends or my colleagues with whom I was in touch with. And then during my second attempt, I missed all the weddings. Like 4 of my friends had their wedding during my second attempt, and I missed them. Then I had a lot of guilt, that the guilt which I still have. And then I decided that a wedding takes 2 or 3 days max, like one day to travel, and maximum the weddings in India are of 2 days. So I felt that maybe if I take these 2-3 days off my studies and I go there and I meet my friends, it will give me a refresher and I can come back stronger into these studies. So I started doing these things as well. And like, my parents were not living with me. Like, I live in Indore, they were living at a different place. We have another home in Madhya Pradesh. So I was living alone for most of the time during my first attempt. But in my second attempt, I felt that maybe this 100% disconnectivity is not the right thing to do. So in between, they started coming for a week or for 15 days. So I started doing these things, and this really helped me keep going in the examination.
Okay, makes sense.
Understood. And one thing, Adesh, so you mentioned like you uninstall your social media apps and all in the beginning, and you said that most of the aspirants also do that. So on that note, I wanted to ask you, like, so in today's generation, we have this social media where we have online classes from different coachings where people use their mobile phones to take those classes from either YouTube channel or from their some bought up courses. In that scenario, since we are already very we have the access to the phone, we have the access to the social media here like YouTube or other apps, how did you deal with your distractions, let's say if you are preparing for your exam and sitting in an isolated room, there are moments when you want to, scroll the social media to distract your mind. How do you deal with those moments?
So, see, the urge to use social media is very high. It's extremely high. And I felt that urge as well. But what I felt, like, there are two things which I felt. First thing is, when you use social media, let's say Instagram, Facebook, it does some things to anyone, not just a UPSC aspirant. It first thing is, it shows that you are missing out on so many things. Like your friends are going here, many people are getting married, people are going to Thailand, and people are doing this and people are doing that. So the more you see these things, the more you feel that, okay, kahan aa gaya main? Like the question that Sumesh asked, that maybe I should have not left my job. So the more you have to question your decision, the more you will be distracted. So that was the reason I had uninstalled all these things, even WhatsApp as well. And I switched only to Telegram. And second thing is, social media भी दो तरह का होता है. Like one social media is like Instagram or Facebook, where you don't have control over what you are seeing. Like if you open Instagram and you go to Reels section, you see
Right.
30-40 reels within 15-20 minutes, right?
Hmm.
And you have no control. You can see reels about politics, you can see reels about movies or sports or anything. And there is a lot of bad content or useless content as well on Instagram. Then at the same time, there is like a social media or a media tool like YouTube, where you can customize in a much better way what you really want to see. So one of my friend, he was also preparing, he suggested me that, okay, what I can do is I can turn off my YouTube history. Okay, so if you turn off your YouTube history, it stops showing you recommendation. That if you open YouTube, it will only show a white page with a search tab. It will not show you any recommendations at all. And then you can actually type what you really want to see. But when you have to type by yourself what you really want to see, you are more prone to seeing relevant things. Okay. Even if you are watching a movie, you will feel that, okay, if you feel like watching a comedy movie, then you will watch a comedy movie. If you feel like watching a romantic movie, you will watch a romantic movie. So now things are more in your control. Okay, और social media
Decision.
हाँ, then it helps reducing your screen time as well. And then second thing what I did is, I had uninstalled most of these apps from my mobile phones. I used to use these things on my laptop only. So when you have to use your things on laptop, automatically your screen time reduces. Otherwise, if you are using your phone, then you use your phone all the time. So these were some of the things. So I think social media has its use, but you have to be very selective. You should know how you want to use it in your preparation.
तो अभी हम लोग इंस्टाग्राम, सोशल मीडिया इन सब के बारे में बात कर ही रहे हैं। एंड रिसेंटली आई सॉ कि यू हैव आल्सो स्टार्टेड योर इंस्टा चैनल यूपीएससी एंड मूवीज़। सो जस्ट वांटेड टू नो कि ये आइडिया कहाँ से आया एंड लाइक हाउ डिड यू स्टार्टेड द चैनल एंड व्हाट इज़ द मेन इंटेंशन बिहाइंड द चैनल?
एक्चुअली आइडिया ऐसा आया कि बहुत ज़्यादा फ्री टाइम हो गया था पिछले 1 महीने में, कुछ करने को नहीं था. सो आई फेल्ट लाइक आई नीडेड टू डू समथिंग, एटलीस्ट लाइक सम काइंड ऑफ स्केड्यूल इन लाइफ, कि हाँ चलो सुबह 10 बजे तक उठ के ये सब हमको कर देना है. So I started thinking about some things, and then movies is something which is like, I watch movies very passionately. Like whenever there is a very good movie which is released, I always go to theater and watch it. So I am a movie buff properly. And throughout my preparation as well, like in my first attempt, as I told, that I didn't do anything at all. I just used to study. And in my second attempt, what I felt was that breathing space was required. So either you can go play something, or either you can watch something. So whenever in the last 3 years, I used to see if I can watch a movie which is like which has some relation to UPSC at least. Okay, like like if I am watching a movie on some freedom fighter, let's say Bhagat Singh, so then it will do two things. It will help me learn better about Bhagat Singh, and then when you see your movies, you feel more inspired. Sometimes you don't feel like doing it all. Sometimes you don't feel like studying at all. But sometimes you watch a good movie, or watch a good show, and you get inspired and you start doing those things again. So this is what I used to do. And what I felt was, maybe if I am doing this, maybe there might be some other aspirants who also want to watch good movies which have some relation to UPSC. So I thought maybe on a daily basis, and I have watched lots of movies, like both from India and not and like from Hollywood and other countries as well. So I had a list of 30-40 movies in my mind, and I thought, okay, let's start from here. And now I have a list of like approximately 100 movies which have some relation to UPSC, and I post them daily. So that if there is any aspirant who wants to take some time off and not want to feel guilty that okay, he or she went to watch a very random movie, then they can choose to watch some this movie which has at least some relevance.
सो लेट्स टेक एन एग्जांपल कि मेरे काफ़ी सारे फ्रेंड्स अभी यूपीएससी की प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं एंड वो लोग इस स्टेट में है कि उन लोगों ने 3 या 4 बार यूपीएससी एग्ज़ाम दे दिया है एंड अभी दे आर फीलिंग वेरी बर्नआउट कि यार बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रेस हो रहा है, मेंटली दे आर वेरी एग्ज़ॉस्ट हो चुके हैं वो लोग। सो व्हाट वन एडवाइस और की मैसेज यू वुड लाइक टू गिव टू देम कि उनको आगे क्या करना चाहिए? लाइक दे आइदर दे कैन कंटिन्यू प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर यूपीएससी और दे should look for any alternate option now.
What I feel is that it is really important to be very objective and very honest with yourself in life in general, and especially for this exam. So maybe they should reanalyze everything in detail, and they should know if they know what is going wrong for them. Okay, this exam is, although it's not completely objective, it has a huge element of subjectivity in this exam, but they should actually analyze what is that thing which is because of which they are not able to clear, whether they are not able to clear prelims and why they are not able to clear it, whether they don't have conceptual clarity, whether they are not giving enough tests, whether they are not doing enough answer writing, all those things. So first thing is they need to be very objective about that. Second thing is they need to analyze that like what I felt after my third attempt was I ran out of ideas on what I can do to improve my score. Like after my second and third attempt, I had some things in my mind. So if you have ideas that okay, if I will do this, then I may improve on these things. Then only it makes sense to continue preparing for this exam. That is one thing. Second thing, to help with burnout, I think uh, two things can be done. First thing is since they have already prepared for 2-3 years, so they know the basics. They have already read most of the things 5-10 times minimum. Okay, so then maybe they don't have to put in so many hours again to prepare for this exam. They can start doing some things in parallel. Like they can even join a small job. Like there are many aspirants who do this, that after giving 2 or 3 attempts, they take up some job in private or public sector, and a job where they can get 3 or 4 hours on a daily basis to prepare for UPSC as well. And one more thing that sometimes people do is that sometimes they take a break. Like after giving 3 or 4 attempts, they don't give another attempt. They take a break of 1 year. They either they continue preparing, or they change their optional, or they work in private sector or do something else, and then they come back again after 1 or 1.5 years. So that break helps.
Okay. And now that you have cleared UPSC, like what success means to you now? Like after this, are you trying to achieve something else, or this is something which you wanted to achieve and now you will focus towards working towards IRMS?
Eh, uh, what I so I since I have not yet completely become part of the system, so with time only I will get to know what is really the kind of work that I will be doing. When it comes to success, what I feel is one thing, the satisfaction with work is very important. Like at the end of the day, what I like one of my reason for leaving my job in the private sector was that I was not able to see what I was doing in front of my eyes, and I wanted to do a work where I can actually see things happening in front of my eyes or on the ground. So if that thing happens, and second point being, like if I'm actually really able to help people or make some kind of changes, some positive changes in their life. For example, to put it in very layman terms, if I am working for Indian Railways, and if I can make the passenger experience a little bit better, then although it is fairly good in India today, but if I can still improve upon some of those things, and people can say that okay, yeah, Indian Railways is doing a good job, And this won't happen only by myself. Like there is a very huge team of people who are working in railways. So if these two things I see happening in the longer run, I can say that okay, I'm doing a good job, or I have achieved some kind of success in my life. So this is probably what success means to me today.
So, Adesh, like before ending this podcast today, I would like to ask you this question: like throughout your journey that you had during your UPSC preparation, had there any highlights or any major learnings that you want to share with other UPSC aspirants who are preparing for UPSCs right now?
So one of the learning that uh, which has affected me a lot personally is that the exam, like almost everyone knows that the exam process goes on for 1 year, like I explained. And but you, if let's say if you are not able to clear your prelims, which happens in the month of May, or if you are not able to clear your mains, which happens in the month of September, then you don't get to see how much marks you have scored right after the examination. Like for example, if we take any other exam in India, let's say IIT JEE exam, after 20 or 25 days after the exam, the results are declared and everyone gets to see how much they have scored. And then if anyone wants to, for example, if someone is preparing for JEE and they want to take a drop year and start preparing again, so they know 1 year in advance how much they were able to score 1 year ago. And now they know what are the things that they can work upon to improve their score in their second attempt for JEE. But unfortunately, this doesn't take place in UPSC because you get to see your marks of prelims and mains only after the final result is declared. And final result is declared in the month of May. And then you have another prelims coming up for your next attempt just 1 month later in the month of May. So you don't have a lot of time to analyze what went right, what went wrong. And many times this happens that you may feel that like in the mains examination, you have 7 papers of 250 marks each. Okay. And sometimes you may feel that you are doing, that you did good in a certain paper and you did very bad in a certain paper. But sometimes your marks doesn't reflect that. Sometimes you are surprised. Sometimes you are shocked by the amount of marks you get. And then it is really hard to make sense of things that okay, why this happened, why this doesn't happen. So this is one learning, that whoever is preparing for this exam, they need to keep this thing in mind, that this exam is unpredictable and it is quite subjective. So you have to accept this thing, that you won't know your marks for an year and you will have to prepare with that uncertainty. And that uncertainty will go on for 1 year. And this is one thing that because of which people keep giving the attempts and they keep trying out different things. So again, it depends on the person how he or she is analyzing her performance or their performance. But this is one thing which I feel uh, every aspirant should know before starting to prepare for this exam.
Okay, I think Adesh, like this was really insightful, and this will help our audience as well to gain more and deeper understanding of how UPSC CSE examination is being given and what actual preparations are being done in it. And thanks for coming and sharing your insights with us.
Yeah, thanks, Adesh, for joining today.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting, and I hope this helps everyone, not just UPSC aspirants. Or if anyone is interested in watching good movies, then they can probably follow my Instagram channel. You can cut this part if you want.